The idea here is, as the IoT world is growing, there are a lot of devices and controllers coming in the market. So they all come with their own solution where we have to deploy the entire system. That means we are replacing the existing system with a new system. And that definitely adds up to a lot of cost, the complexity, and also the training, the way we produce it, and stuff like that. So our idea is like, instead of changing, or till the day come where we have to change the new system, we can try to utilize the existing network. For example, in this hall we have a lot of lights, projectors, sensors, the fans, the AC ventilators, all connected somehow. But we have manual switches right now to operate them and to control them. So idea here is, by just changing those control points and making them a node in a network and forming a connected network within a building, will give us the connectivity of all the devices that are not connected. So once we do this, we basically can hook onto any node, and from a mobile or from a application, it's running on your laptop or desktop, and you can monitor and control that node. So for this hackathon, that is our hackathon, we have tried a small exercise where you will see a wall socket of this type. As you can see, it's between the wall, and it has switches. Traditionally, it will have analog switches of manual switches. So this we have replaced with push buttons, digital buttons, and there are indicators, LEDs, and there's a power socket. So basically, the idea is to just replace this and nothing else in your house or a building or a warehouse or wherever you want to deploy this. Just by changing this, you have a existing cable and wiring. You just use that as is, and you change this. And this has a microcontroller, as basically a brain, and a Wi-Fi module, which actually connects this brain to a network. And this kind of brains, we have so many, as we have that many sockets, and they all talk to each other, they know each other. They basically form a mesh network. And then we have developed a mobile app, which actually, again, another node which is getting connected to this. And once we have that, it extracts all the information, it gives you a nice GUI, and user information as user wants. And then traditionally, as people are habituated, you can also operate using the manual switch, for example this. So we are not asking them to learn new ways of controlling things, Actually, they can use a traditional way of switching on or off they wish. So this will still work. As you can see, the lights on and off. That is traditional way. So you're not asking user to change. If somebody wants, like, no, I want still the button to operate, and I will not change because of the system, they can still operate. But in the new generation living in the house, they want a mobile app to control everything. In that case, we also can do, control this same device using a mobile app.
The user will choose which room he wants to control. After choosing the which room in the house, he can choose which switchboard in that room has to be controlled. Okay. After choosing everything, he will come out with the switch layouts, which is basically which is going to represent the physical switches. So by just operating these buttons, he can control his home appliances. Okay. To get this application also gets the capability initially from the switchboard to map what kind of functionalities, like binaries on or off, or the trimmers, like for fan and for LEDs. Okay, so we have our binary map. So I'm going to switch on bulb 1, this is bulb 2, this is, and plug. Okay, everything is controlled. The traditional switch box is being controlled by mobile now. Beauty comes is here. You can form rules, like say when you go for bed. So that time, if you switch on bed light, you will definitely switch off all other lights, right? So if you form that kind of rules and send it, that also will be applied here and will be controlled in that manner. I'll apply one such rule, where if I switch on bulb 1, this socket also comes up.
This is what the advantage of IoT. So what we are trying to present here is, once you have a brain, the microcontroller inside, we can define a lot of rules. Like that we cannot do with the traditional switching. For example, in order to change a switch, example, the order in which the switch are operating, sometimes invitation connects in the reverse way, then you want to change the switch. First I want for this lamp, second for this. But you can't do that. Here you can do. Because here nothing is hardwired. Everything is through a software. Software you do a push button, it's a microcontroller which recognizes that and now controls the actual relay. So that can be changed any moment of time. So think of possibility that you can do. You can sit at home and you can change that, oh now with this button I want to operate that corner light, not this light. And you can do that just by changing the rule as is shown in the mobile. Or instead of me switching all this how many 8 lamps, 8 switches, I want all that to operate at one. I just operate one, all the 8 lights will come. And I say off, all the lights will be off. Something like this. So this is like the human requirements or the whatever the complex wiring they want to do or the algorithm in which they want to operate, they can actually do that using this kind of smart node which is existing at the places. And sometimes like you want to have a rule based, like time based rules, which is again we have done here. The idea is like want to say switch on the all balcony or the common area lights in the evening, say from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock. But then manually we do it, and if you forget sometime, whole night will be on. But then I can actually program that, such a way that it's after 10 o'clock I don't want this light to be on. And it will be taken care by the system every day. I don't have to actually get into that. Similarly, you can say, for example, a geyser. I can say my geyser should not be on more than 1 hour. There's no way that the water keeps on boiling. Even if I forget to turn off, it's going to turn off automatically by 1 hour. Something like that. Very, very basic requirements that you can actually reconfigure or you can program yourself using a small UI on your device. So something like that. Yeah. So we have one more use case.
When UPS comes up, you manually sometimes need to go and off switch, and if it is connected through UPS. So if you generate this kind of rules, that provision is available in this app. So if you can generate those kind of rules, and on the fly you can control any of these devices. That's the advantage we are doing.
Just walk you through the slides that we have made. We have demonstrated what of the things we have done. So coming to the background, which I've explained a lot, that we have devices like legacy systems which are not connected, or nobody is talking about this in IoT world. IoT world is all about the cloud services, the Wi-Fi devices, the IP routers, the network everywhere, connect everything, and that's all. And when you talk about the deployment, they say, yeah, you invest few lakhs or few crores and change everything. Okay, so what about CFL? No, that's not IoT. Just forget your CFL or your fan existing. So here, that's not the idea actually. So we have a lot of legacy device left unconnected. And then the cost of deployment of a new system goes exponentially high. So it is not in a common man's hand right now to go with the IoT solution. A smart home is not a middleman's choice right now. That's what we are trying to bring with this idea. Then existing infrastructure, yeah, wiring and all is gone waste. Because once you have a Wi-Fi bulb, your switch is not required. Anyway, the will be connected by a device and control from your handheld devices. So basically, you are not reusing any of the existing system. Then we have the new system, as I told, the training. My father picks up a Wi-Fi bulb. For him it's very difficult to operate using a mobile phone. He's traditionally, habituated of using the lights and switches. The same is with the older generations, right? They cannot cope up with the new system so easily. So we have that another problem where we have adaptability problems. That nobody is addressing it. Then we have most of the system that is offered right now is online. They say everything gets connected to cloud and we have a lot of APIs. Then comes the big question of security. If I want to put my door locks online, it's a risk. If I want to put my gates and all those locks online, then it's a risk. So there is no system that is offline. Whereas if there is a system, you are building a local network. There is an option to connect to online if you wish. If you don't want, you can still operate within your local area, which is still very secured and private as is concerned. So this is the kind of background on which we started working on this idea. And then our idea is like use the existing systems or existing infrastructure as much as possible. As we have seen already, we are not asking you to do anything except a very small change in the control board. Then another thing is building a network, a current network. That's another thing, like not all houses have their own Wi-Fi, all the flows, multi-flows, you have a lot of interference problems, signal strength problems. But when we have replacing your board, such boards everywhere, these boards are more frequent. In one room you might have 4, 5 or 6, and the next room you have. So they automatically form a big mesh which is highly connected. So you don't have one path, you have multi-path to reach from one node to another node. So your reliability is more on this network. So that's where you can actually build a network, connected networks. Networks can be local. If somebody says, no, I choose, I don't want to connect anything, I want to control everything within my own premises and nothing else. I don't want remote access. They can definitely do that. They can do online. When somebody says they can do locally. If they want, no, I want everything online, I can view from anywhere, I can control from anywhere, they can as well go online. And then there's like accessing the network, because there's a mesh network, you can actually access the nearest node, and from there you can access any of the lines. This is one of the beauty. We would have never thought that sitting here, can I turn on my basement light or can I turn off my basement light? Nobody's ever imagined, because it's not possible with this switch. But with this, it's possible, because in the mobile you can choose the basement and then it can give you that basement switchboard at your hand. So that's possible actually. Somebody's at your gate and you want to just open the light to see who is there. You can do that. Sitting in your living room, you can do that. So that kind of possibility, because it's virtual, the entire board is in your hand now. It's not like you have to physically go, and especially with the campus like big companies or big warehouses or big factories, where you have very big area and huge areas, and somebody wants to monitor and increase the efficiency of the system. They can deploy this very easily. Coming to the add-ons, as we have seen, the very first way is to like form a network and want to connect everything, all the living systems. That was the idea started with. Then when we started connecting, we figured out that these nodes are not just dumb nodes. They are very intelligent. They are microcontrollers with a lot of memory inside. They have EEPROMs in that. They have a lot of interfaces and the capabilities that they have. With that, we can do a lot of logical programming, as we have demonstrated here. Like I can do a virtual wiring, I can connect a lot of things, I can make time-based actions, I can make trigger-based actions. On top of it, if I am interested, if I invest more on the hard disk, for example, a smoke sensor or a light sensor or a motion sensor, I can do more logical programming. Saying that, okay, when there's no light in my hall, you turn on the lights, otherwise no. If I have a luminance sensor. If I have smoke sensor in my kitchen, I can say if this smoke is coming, then you start the exhaust fan. I don't have to even operate the exhaust fan. Something like that. So if I invest more, then I can get more. So that is what I'm talking about. I can do schedule conditional actions, as you have shown, like turning that bulb was turning the socket as well, or vice versa. You can do that way. Performing time-based action, as I was saying, repeated actions and all you want to do, you can actually do it. These are all the add-ons that people will get to the solutions. You can be fully remote or fully local system or both. And the data storage for analytics. This is another advantage. As I told, this brain also has some memory with it, and also you can expand the memory if you wish to. And you can connect to online, you can have infinite memory. So you can do storage of data. For example, I will know exactly every year, 2015, how many hours this lamp was on. So exactly I know, the minutes and seconds data on my device. So that's the beauty of this. So that can be done. Then we can have basic surveillance and security systems as you want, as per your requirement. For example, if I connect one sensors, I can say if there's any motion in the hall when I'm not in the office, I must get an immediate alert. That kind of thing. That's what I was calling about basic surveillance. It's not like video surveillance I'm talking about. You can also do video surveillance, but then if you want, that's way too costly. With this system, you can get a basic surveillance of motions and stuff like that, smoke or some detections. And also you can have vibration sensors, like somebody throwing a stone to windows or somebody trying to open the door forcefully. So that there are vibration sensors available. So if you connect that, you get a basic security and surveillance system at home. At no extra cost with this network. So this is the add-ons we have with this idea. I think we are almost done. Thank you for your patience. If you want to get updates, like what we are using right now on the brain is the Arduino microcontroller that we have. And then we have a Wi-Fi module which is ESP8266, and it's a purely serial to Wi-Fi module which has no logic. You can replace that with anything. Tomorrow if you want high range, you can replace it with LoRa. It's another Wi-Fi module, high range. So that depends on the requirement. So there are three parts in this. One is your physical appearance, which you can see it's very bad right now. You have a lot of Chinese buttons available. You can just replace with them. You get a very nice GUI UI with lights and all those things. All you need is 3 volts. So that's another advantage here. You can also make washable boards with this, because now there is no more 240 volts there. Anybody can operate and they can design. So that's one part. Second is the brain, which is a controller which has all the logic, Arduino. And third is this Wi-Fi control. So these 3 modules which we pack inside this. Yeah, is any questions? Suggestions? Yeah.
So the mobile and this electronic part is connected via Wi-Fi.
Yes. Yes. So basically, the ESP8266 we configured it as a access point, but we some wireless connecting right now.
Okay,
But say, yeah.
what was about that local network, mesh network?
Okay. See, the idea is like most of the bulbs if you see, they have a cloud-based connectivity, and then from the cloud you can control those bulbs. For that you need a Wi-Fi which is connected to the cloud. Without that, you can't operate. There are some devices available right there. But here, some people say, no, I don't want to connect. For example, when I replace my house with this bulb, my entire node is connected to the cloud. Then anybody can control any light or any device which I connect, right? Lockers or digital locks and all. So ideally, some people are afraid from a security point of view that I don't want to connect my system to the online. I want it to be offline. For example, if I am in the range of that, then only I can do it. Or I can do it only from my phone. From my this MAC address, the house is connected. But then this is not a part of the internet. So basically, you cannot access this thing from remote.
Okay, in that case, if internet is not involved, so what, via which channel will you be connecting the phone with the hardware?
Connecting this to the internet, you get advantage of remote access also.
If internet is not coming in the picture, then what communication model that you intend to use?
No, within the node, they have their internet only. See, within the node, but that's a private cloud, right? Which is not online. So for example, your system is not online, I cannot just get into your home network, right?
Till you have got the control over your hand, right? Entire home switchboards got connected, and whatever the way you want to program, from this switch if you want to control the gate, you can do that. It's not what.
It's still a internet protocol. Within the device, it's still an internet protocol. They have it's like a private cloud you are creating, you know. But then if it's not online, the local cloud will not be accessed from the outside.
Maybe
So,
in the local scenario, Wi-Fi signals will be the limitations, right?
yes. Yeah. Any questions? Thank you guys. Thank you.